Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk Here's Negan Chapter 5, or Part 5. Now, this will probably be a quick one because we're only getting 4 pages a month. As you already know, not a lot happened. And the second reason, immediately behind this, I'm going to read for the first time and review issue 158, which is Whisper of War Part 2. This is a week early. I believe it comes out next Wednesday. So I'm going to do a spoiler-free review for you guys right behind this one. And I haven't read it yet, so I don't know how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to record myself reading it, and I'm just going to see how it turns out. But as far as Negan's story, to recap, last week we left off with a cliffhanger where his wife was, on the verge of dying, but he was holding out hope that she was gonna make it through this. Something happened outside. Zombies are all over the place. And again, keep in mind, this character, Negan, he doesn't know what a zombie is. Zombies do not exist in their universe. Zombie movies, zombie books, zombie shows, zombie comics, none of that exists in his world at all. So he looks out the window, he sees human beings essentially attacking each other, and then he barricades himself in a room. His wife is like, he turns around, Lucille, she falls on the ground. He realizes and accepts it pretty quickly, but I think that's a good thing that he accepts it pretty quickly because the fans, the readers, they already know what's going on, so it really doesn't make sense dragging that acceptance out. So he's got a face full of tears, and he kisses her goodbye, knowing that at first he thought he was dreaming, or at least that's what it seemed like. He's like, this isn't real. But then he gives her a kiss goodbye. He doesn't kill her yet. He peeks his head out the door, and then he sees a guy trapped up against a wall with a gurney in front of him, and walkers are reaching out to grab the guy. Now, there's some interesting parallels between Negan and Rick Grimes, and I think that Rick Grimes' story is so iconic. This has to be, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, on purpose. It just has to be. And I think it's interesting if the idea is to show two different individuals kind of starting off in the same place in this new world under very different circumstances. Negan is there visiting his sick wife. Rick was actually in a coma in a hospital. Shit pops off and they're both in the hospital. You can even stretch it and say when they both essentially leave their rooms for the first time, both Negan and Rick, the first person they run into is a black dude. I mean, you can make that stretch, and I don't ever bring race up specifically. It really doesn't matter, what race a person is, unless it's specific to the story. But you can even make that stretch to say that Kirkman is developing a parallel to give us an idea of how two individual people could kind of start off at the same place. Both of them are really emotional. Rick Grimes is in a coma, lost his family. When he gets out of the hospital, he's finding his family. Negan is essentially losing the one person in the world that he loves. So they're both at a soft start, let's call it. They're both emotionally hurting at the moment. Rick Grimes left the hospital. He's crying because his family's gone, the world has gone to shit. He doesn't even know what the hell happened. So they both are at that soft start emotionally. And where they end up, this story might show us that two people start at the same place, right? Maybe if the idea here is to start them at the same place, show how this world molds them differently. And then maybe this will actually lead right up to Negan trapping Rick Grimes and the survivors in issue 100. I think that would be amazing if this actually, now that's a lot to cover, but I think that would be amazing if the idea here is to start them off similar, two different parallels of something at a hospital. Tell a story of how this world has molded Negan, because he doesn't just start this world going, okay, let's create a gang and let's take over shit. No, look at him. He doesn't know what's going on. He's an emotional wreck. He's confused. This is all new to him. He didn't expect this, so he's shocked. He's stunned. And I think the human interaction will most likely mold him into the leader we know once issue 100 comes around. I'm trying to think of how would you do it where you don't have to show Rick Grimes in the Here's Negan story, but you can maybe have somebody walk up to Negan and be like, okay, boss, we got them. That prick is sitting on top of the van, everyone else is sleeping, and then Negan just puts his bat over the shoulders, and he's like, okay, let's go get this prick, and Negan's walking off. Maybe that could be the last page in Here's Negan, and then we could connect that. We can take Here's Negan, the entire story once it's done, read his whole backstory, connect it right to issue 100, knowing that the last page in Here's Negan is him walking towards the survivors, Rick and them, after the gang has pulled him off the truck, lined everyone up, and then in issue 100 you see him walking towards us, entering the area where the survivors are at, if you know what I mean, on their knees. I don't know, quick thought popped in my head. I love that thought. And man, it's hot today. Holy shit, I just had to put that out there. I'm dying, it's hot. I haven't had time to skim through the Image Plus, so I don't really know what kind of review to give it. I do know, though, if you're an Invincible fan, and this was actually really surprising, Invincible is coming to an end. It says the end of all things. That is pretty cool. I'm actually surprised that Invincible's coming to an end. But if you're new to this, you can find Image Plus at your local comic book shop. People sell this on eBay even. It's only a couple dollars. But they're going to have Negan's backstory in 4 pages every month for 12 months in a row. This is month 5, just to give you some backstory. Now, I'm going to get into this issue right now. If you want to check out that video, click on this eye or go ahead and look in the video list. I'll try to post it behind this actual review. So, give me your thoughts and opinions on Chapter 5 of Here's Negan. What do you think, and are you still as frustrated as I am about the short story? I'm so glad I had to go pick up Outcast, and you guys told me to pick up Kill or Be Killed. I'm so glad, because if I drove all the way out there for just this 4 pages, it would have been a negative review. I would have been annoyed. Just annoyed. But since I picked up a bunch of stuff and got to the post office, hell, it was worth the trip. Give me your thoughts and opinions. Put them down in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.
Subscribe now.